I'm not gonna lie, I wanted to make this video for a while, but after a few Google searches, I realized there really isn't that much to know about R.E.P.O. I was kinda sad and almost scraped the entire video, which is when this video came out from the developers. Yeah, so now that I know there will be a lot more lore when the game fully comes out, I made it my mission to predict exactly what's gonna happen and what we know so far. So, let's go. R.E.P.O is a game where you play as these little cute robot guys, and I need someone to buy me this thing because it's so cute. You're sent out to collect valuable items and to bring them back to meet a quota. If you're thinking that's just Lethal Company, yes it is. But there are a lot of differences between the two, and personally I think this game is a lot more lighthearted, which lends it to have more fun and even the scariest moments. There are only a few things we can go over: where the game takes place and who we are. Okay, well, there are some other entities, but that's not that interesting. I mean, we got a blind guy, a floating head. I mean, on second thought, it might be worth talking about. So, when it comes to locations, there are 3 explorable areas: Headman's Manor, Swift Broom Academy, and McGenic Station. And there are 3 non-explorable areas, which are the service stations, disposable area, and wherever the tutorial takes place. You probably forgot about that one, huh? So that's where I looked first. I thought I was being super smart and ready to uncover some massive secret, but the only thing I found were 2 signs in the beginning. This first sign makes me think that these semi-bots were made before humans went extinct, which, yeah, obviously it's not that much of a reach. But the next sign definitely confirms we're at least at the very minimum part robot. The other things on the sign, I'm not sure if they have any real significance, but we can add these clues to help us figure out what these semi-bots are exactly. Actually, I have no idea where the term semi-bot even came from, because I don't think it's mentioned in game, but it's the term people have been using, so great. Anyway, let's move on to the actual playable areas, where most of the game takes place. I feel like the best place to start is Swift Broom Academy. When do you think this place came to be? I mean, it looks pretty modern. It's got desks, books, magical explosive staffs, but if we look around, we find a poster about a class of 87. But why is this important? They even have a big-ass version of it above a classroom. Well, we kind of don't know. Yeah, I can't really make out much of anything in the picture itself, and all we can really assume is that the school has been around since at least 1987. And I only say that because I don't know if wizardry schools have a 4-year program or not. But it's clearly made to be some kind of college-like environment, since there are dorm rooms all around and just beds in jail cells because we hate students. The classrooms are pretty vast, and there are subject-specific area ones. And I think Swift Broom Academy is a pretty important part of the story, since it gives us a time frame for when magic was around. Also, for some reason we have written in what I can only assume is blood. It was the headmaster. Not the whole picture, but it's a piece of the puzzle. Next, I forgot to sell out, so it would be really cool if you liked the video, and if you subscribe, I'll bake you some cookies. As a small, tiny, insignificant creator like me, it would mean the world. Thank you. Now for real this time. We should take a look at Headman Manor. Only because it's not really that important, so I put it in the middle. All we know from the place is that it's owned by the Headman family, and they are living lavishly, like multi-million-dollar mansions. I don't know who designed this thing, though the layout is kind of horrible, but it's cool. One thing to note is that Headman is kind of thought to be the headmaster, only because the guy goes by Headman. I mean, the case is bulletproof, sure, but what really gives the connection some meat is the fact that the Headman mansion has a lot of magical items around. Though even then, it's kind of like, sure, there's nothing concrete just yet to tie the two. And lastly, of the explorable areas is the McGenic Station. This has a lot of useful information in it. We know the station is pretty much surrounded by snow, with snow literally breaking through broken windows. There are also jeeps around to help maneuver around, which I wish you could drive in. A lot of items here are computers and laptops that are analyzing something, but I can't believe we're in 2078 and using this level of technology. You'd think we had better computers. I don't know. Obviously, walking around, we can see they're studying something. What's in the ice? So, they found a thing, but who knows what it actually was. As for the general location, there's some debate as if the station is in Greenland or Sweden, but I honestly don't think that even matters much. There are 2 main puzzle pieces we get from here: that something was discovered in the snow, and that something happened on April 16th. I think. I don't know, I can't count. The other 2 areas that we haven't talked about are the service station and the disposable area. The service station is probably the most easy to understand of the 2, since it's pretty much a rundown gas station. that's been repurposed into a semi-bot upgrade station. Like usually there's just a dead person chilling here and everything looks like black mold has taken over. There's also a secret area that I can access with another dead body in there, but it doesn't reveal that much. Maybe people were trying to hide from something, but other than that, there isn't much to go on. Looking outside, the world around us seems completely normal. Like there's still trees and there isn't like a world-tearing destruction around us. But it's not like there are birds or animals around either. It's just silence. I actually stayed at the title screen for a while to see if there was anything there at all. All I saw was something being run over and a rundown vehicle, just like ours. Which makes sense because the next place we're going to talk about is the disposal area, which is a graveyard of sorts. Tons of semi-bots around, which means these bots aren't reused. New ones are always made, which seems like a huge waste, but it does tell us something. That new ones are always being made. And it's not like we're the only team running around. Every time a game starts, I think it's another set of semi-bots sent out to do the taxman's bidding. Then there's two things left to talk about. The creatures left in this world, and who is the taxman, and who are we? Okay, that's three things, but you know what I'm saying. Let's speedrun the spooky guys. Of course, we got the floating head that is Headman. He definitely used to own and run the manor, and my guy is extremely rich and spawns in all three locations. He definitely is adept with magic as he's turned himself into some kind of, what's a good word? Apparition? Let's go with that. Next we have the masked robe. We don't know a lot about the origin of this guy, and he moves in complete silence, with his hands near where your shins would be, so something is definitely wrong here. He can also shrink down and eat you under tables, compressing its body whenever it needs to. You can also kind of see smoke trails coming from it, so it's likely that it's some kind of machine, magic thing, just like the semi-bots. From what I understand, none of the entities interact with each other, so it's hard to glean any extra information from them. My favorite, Rubber Ducky, or the apex predator. This is one of the many mutated animal-looking things in the game. I think this is just a magical monster though. One that takes form of a harmless children's toy to bait its prey, since the main way it works is by trying to get you to touch it or if someone else runs into it. At that point, it just starts turning into a fucking demon and comes after you at Mach speeds. I'm not sure if this was an actual duck or something that's mimicking a toy because I'm stupid. But I'm gonna say that this is just an imitation and not an evolved form of a duck, which some theories claim. Moving to the Huntsman, which kind of takes this game and throws it down the toilet because this guy is just a human, right? Well, he's a little messed up with the no eyes thing, but I have no clue how this guy survived with just a gun against those things. There's not much that we know about these guys or any of these entities since we don't have a bestiary like Lethal Company to give us some more details. Upscream, a human spider hybrid, yeah, this thing can burn. It's one of the entities here that showcase how mutated life forms have begun. Humans specifically have gone through significant mutations. It does have the most human head out of all the enemies, but it has also no brain, but then again, I can relate to that. The Shadow Child. Honestly, I don't know. Magic? The Hidden Ghosts. These guys just kind of mess with the semi-bots, not killing them, but kidnapping them. They can interact with the physical world, sound like humans, and even make footsteps that sound like a human. I don't really know other than maybe, again, magic. Next, the Mentalist. I just realized this whole section is just who knows, since there is practically no information on any of these guys, other than hey, mutations, maybe, or magic. Also probably not aliens since nowhere in the game is there any space travel, and aliens are also just never mentioned. Also, we have this thing. Yeah, just more deformed humans. A lot of legs and a body. And I guess we can call that a face. We can see visible stitch marks on it, so I have no idea what unholy reason people would do this, so. Oh, and finally the Rugrats. Again, who knows? As listed above, it could be magic and or deformed humans. There are a lot more smaller enemies, but they would all have the same description of who knows. Now, I know a lot of the entities have no information on them, but the developers of R.E.P.O have said that they will be adding a lot more lore when it comes to the full release. So for now, we kinda just have to use our imagination. Finally, the semi-bots. I believe the semi-bots are just magically infused machines. I know some people think it's humans controlling them, but I just don't really see that at all. It's not like there's a storage bank, magic, or machine that stores human consciousness. Especially since our technology doesn't really seem that advanced where we can insert humans into machines. The level we're playing at is grafting limbs onto chopped up torsos. I think this is an empty world. No more humans, no more normal life. I think this because there would be no need to have a system like this in place unless humanity knew they needed an escape from something. And if they knew that, I feel like people would be more panicked. Instead, it feels like they disappeared instantly. All their things are still in place, untouched. Computers are still running, books are still about. Even the guy running the gas station couldn't be bothered to move. Whatever happened took most of humanity by surprise. The last thing we need to talk about is who is the taxman before I reveal the truth. Open thine eyes to the world that was right in front of us all along. So, the taxman. I think we jumped to the fact that it was an AI of sorts, but I don't really think that's the right idea. After all, technology in this world doesn't seem nearly as advanced as ours. Rather, this humanity leaned a lot more into the magic they discovered. I believe the taxman is actually an entity like us, part magic and part robot. It explains why the taxman has a twisted personality and makes unoptimal choices. I think it was made as a manager, something that can connect to all these semi-bots and give them instructions. And with that, we have all our puzzle pieces in place. What are semi-bots? The time frame from when magic was studied, researching creatures in the ice, and the sudden disappearance of all humans. Oh, and the fact that semi-bots have probably existed while humans were still walking around, and finally, the taxman. I think the taxman entity is literally the IRS, or maybe the Amazon equivalent CEO, in charge of running a company meant to repo what's left of humanity. If it's the IRS, well, you can escape death, but you can't escape the IRS even after you die. But if it's Amazon, maybe that's why they want a bunch of stuff back. People bought it and never paid it back, which can also explain their literal endless supply of semi-bots, being backed by the government or a huge company. Honestly, there isn't much to go off of just yet, and the final puzzle piece of the thing lurking in the ice doesn't fit the big picture just yet. I believe that thing triggered a chain of events that caused or cast some kind of spell that wiped out humanity. I don't think it's a disease because, let's be honest, from every zombie movie I watched or Parasite movie, the world would not look nearly this peaceful. It looks deserted, like people just suddenly up and left, and that's why I think it's a spell. Anyway, that'll be it for this video. I'm feeling crazy, so I'll reply to every single comment, and if you subscribe, I think you're really cute. Until next time, I hope to see you there.